What is up, guys? We are back, Lord Fishy, all up in your grizzy grazzle with some plane action. Just wanted to say, I think I made a mistake with the wings, and I'll explain why. And we already attached them, I see, but not a big deal. Honestly, let's just delete them. Problem is that if you're gonna make actual controls on it, the back half of them have to be flat, and that's gonna go for this piece too. And I just realized this as I was kind of looking at it and thinking about using it, that it's just not going to work out. It's really cool plane otherwise, but let's fix the wings knowing that. And it shouldn't be too much to fix them, so sorry about that again, but shouldn't be a big deal. I'm just going to make them a little square this time, obviously. So maybe something like this. Make sure we're under the capsule so we're not putting a hole through the capsule. Putting a weird line in it. Something like this. A bit, yeah, let's go longer and see what we get eventually. Something like that actually looks pretty good. That might be about the right width. We'll move it a bit back from the propeller. Alright, that actually looks kind of good, but let's see how much we can round these without messing up the back and front flatness, basically. So grab the piece in edit mode and click off of faces and on edges. And we will get these edges rounded up a bit. And again, I am sorry, I didn't mean to make that mistake. I build everything live, so sometimes I'm going to make mistakes. This is probably one of my first bigger mistakes there. It's building the whole wings the wrong shape. But it happens, it's going to happen, and it's a good lesson for everybody. Like, just don't let it get to you. Stuff's going to go wrong sometimes. You just got to keep on trying, right? And if you have that spirit, like, oh, it's not a big deal, I can build it back again easily, then nothing's going to really keep you down. You're just going to keep on finding ways to succeed at what you're after. Now, I got two choices. I can smooth this out a bit and just kind of cut it down like that. So the wing kind of goes back on an angle. The other option I had is I can undo that and I can bevel it. I think I'm going to go this way. I think it's going to be a little more better for pixels and things like that. It's going to be more a little low pixel. And we still got a really flat back side on both sides of it, so we should be good. We're going to go ahead and Shift D it, and we'll boost this one up, giving yourself enough headroom to have your character inside of the vehicle, obviously. Now, if you need to move this one up, just make sure, as much as you can, you don't see how we're coming through the bottom after that. Just make sure you don't come through there. Okay, so just like that. I think you won't be able to see it that way, and that's what we want. We could put it on an angle if we want to too, but I think this is good for now. The first types of planes were really primitive, and for the type of game I'm making, I'm just making a super primitive plane to kind of it's going to be in like an early flight game, I'm thinking. So this time too, we're going to do the crossbars just a little bit different. We're going to do it with a little more style and pizzazz. You need that pizzazz. Oh, I'm just kidding, my American friends. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. I don't do good Southern accents. But so we're gonna probably maybe actually do this one just flat. I want to do it up like that, shrink her down, and maybe a little more. And we just want to hide that in the blade, top and bottom. Looks pretty good. Then Shift D, maybe. Okay, and we'll drag her over here a little bit, something like this. And then we will try to figure out, nope, the right angle. That would be it. To kind of do one of these. Maybe want to go up a bit. So maybe. Sorry, just try to figure it out together here. something like this. We can kind of hide those edges together like that. Looks pretty good. Looks good to me, so I'm gonna just join those together, and I'm gonna grab this one first and then this one, because the axes on this one aren't changed. So when I join them, you'll see the axes aren't changed at all. So now, right, when I want to copy it to the other side, I just need to change it one way, and it should line up for me. I don't know which way that is, but we'll find out. There we go. So we have it perfectly the same on both sides, and like I said, it's just got a little bit more characteristic with the little tilt on it. It looks like it's a little bit more stable, and that should be good. Might be able to, and I'm just going to try this, so bear with me. Use these for our flaps on our plane, and maybe not, but I'm going to say again that the first ones were pretty primitive, but they might be kind of the wrong shape because they're cheese slice shaped, right? I guess we'd want that to be the opposite. 180 here? Yes, like that. So we would just want to do something like this. And when you're sure you're in place and it's a good spot, maybe Shift D. And we'll drag one down to this one, okay? Maybe you want them a little farther out too, actually. Just thinking of how an airplane would work, and the farther out would probably give you the most control, but I guess just before it starts to curve too, like that. Somewhere in there. And we'll probably have to make a hinge for that, but we'll get to that eventually. For now, let's just Shift D them both. We'll grab one, and we'll put it on the opposite side by removing the minus on that, and we'll do the same to this one. And again, we're just making sure that our plane's absolutely symmetrical, right? It's going to be important. Now, there's a few things you can do if you want to make us look a little bit better. You could grab these back edges and you can shrink them, but I honestly think that's probably what you'd be looking at with primitive planes. They weren't really technologically that significant. Now you might want to run some wires down, some tense wires, because they actually use wires, open wires, to control these flaps. But maybe you just want this look and you just want your flaps to move around when you're turning and stuff like that. I'll quickly explain it. So the way a plane would work is that if you wanted to go down, I guess it'd be all four flaps, not just these two, would go up. And they stay attached to the plane, so they just lean up in the middle. And when they did that, that extra pressure pushing down on your plane, actually, would that make the plane go up? Yeah, that would make the plane go up, and the opposite would make it go down. So just for you to understand how the flaps are working, they'd obviously stay connected to the plane while they did it, so they just go straight up and down, like a 90 up, a 90 down type thing. But it's just giving you an example. Right, so, okay, so we need a new back flap now, so let's do this. Shift D this. I'm going to drag this math way back here. Great. And it may be just a hair big, you decide. Just kidding. Obviously way too big. But not too much smaller, so like that, probably. I think that looks a lot better anyways for the wing shape, so I'm glad we changed these. Hopefully you guys are too. Not sure what else. You might want to add some flaps to these. You would do the same thing essentially, right? Out of edit mode, you'd grab it, Shift D it, shrink it. Okay, until it was small enough to be on one side. Shoot, I misgrabbed it and I don't want to dig through it to get it. There we go. Meant to grab that. So like this. Okay, smack her on in there. And then Shift D it. And it would go on the other side. You just add a minus. Okay. Then you got all your flaps in place. And only one you're missing is we might want to do one here. So let's Shift D this again. Do a 0 here. Do a, I don't know which one would be, 90 here. Nope. Right. Drag her back. Put her up. Go past a little bit probably. And then just shrink her down. Something like that. Okay. And maybe they're backwards. They are backwards too. Is that one backwards? Yeah, that one's backwards too. So you're going to have to turn these around. There we go. There we go. Okay. So there you go. Should be that easy. And then we got our flaps, and that's, again, that's pretty easy. You might want to move this one around for it's not so close to the top edge. It kind of looks funny up there. Maybe down here more. It's a little better down there, not so close to that edge. Looked unnatural. So I think we got our basic plane. I was going to use this episode to do controls, but I wanted to fix that first. So maybe we'll do a third one and we'll do controls and coloring. I'm not sure how long this video's went on, and I don't want to make it too long and torture you guys, so we'll come back next time for controls, and hopefully you like the new changes and your plane looks a little better and you're happier with it. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you subscribe and like and all that stuff, and we'll see you next time. Peace.